So welcome to the Empower Your Fitness Empire podcast and YouTube channel. Of course, you guys know my name. My name is Harry King Holmes. I have a lovely guest with me today. I met this young lady. I think, we met on like Clubhouse about a year, 2 years ago, something like that. That is how we met, right?
Yep, that's how we met.
Yeah. Like Clubhouse, and kind of met on Instagram, and we'll go back and forth and speak. And I've been following her journey. We were supposed to do this a while ago. But hey, like I hit her up this week and she was like, yo, like, let's go, let's do it. So her name is Miriam. She is a wellness coach. She's a mom. She's an awesome, woman. All right. So, well, I did an introduction, but you go ahead and introduce yourself.
I mean, what is there left to say? I think you hit everything on the head, except for the fact that my name is Miriam. I am a mom too. I am a businesswoman, model. I pretty much do it all. Motivational speaker, coach, counselor. Yeah. And I'm just really excited for us to finally have a chance to sit down and have a conversation about the madness that goes on behind the scenes with everything that I do on a daily basis. So
absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome to the Empower Your Fitness Empire YouTube channel. I would say over the past, you've been pretty consistent with this, right? And I've been peeping you do this, and you've been like super consistent with it. This mantra that you have, right? So that's one of the reasons why I have you on here. Because one, of course, I want to know, I'm gonna be selfish today. I want to know a little bit more about it, like, where it came from and things like that. But also there's, other wellness professionals, fitness professionals, entrepreneurs, and moms listening to it as well. And I would love for you to pour into them as well. So kind of tell me about this mantra. What is it? Where did it come from? So
so my mantra, one of my mantras, but the main one that has been driving my life this past 3 months now is I choose my week and I don't let my week choose me. So I actively say, this is day one, say if it's Sunday, because my week starts on Sunday. I don't know. I know everyone else is like, oh, Monday, nah. We got to start the time before Monday even hits so you can be ready. So my week starts on Sunday, and I say, I choose my week. This is day 1 out of 7 of choosing my week and not letting my week choose me. And it came from one offhanded conversation I had with a stranger. But I was outside and I was grocery shopping, and I had a small conversation with someone just in passing, and she told me to choose my day. She was like, make sure you choose your day. And I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And first time I heard it, something along the lines. And then my friend and I, she's also in the fitness industry. She and I had a conversation about how you have to really get in front of your day before it ever even starts. Otherwise you've already lost it. Right. So conversation. And then I decided on that day, I was like, well, the day is already done, but what about tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that? And we're not promised those things, but you ought to plan for them. So I literally picked that day. I was like, okay, this is day 2 of the week. This is day 2 out of 7 of me choosing my week and not letting my week choose me. So stuck. And it became something that I hold my own self accountable to rather than just something I say. So
yeah. And like pretty much every time I'm on social media and I go to your story, it's like very consistent. You know what I'm saying? So, and I like consistency. Like that's one thing that I like, and it stands out to me, So that's why I was like, yo, like I would love to have this conversation. And that's one thing that I truly believe as well, right? Like we could wake up and the freaking day, and then next thing the day will take our day, right? Life will take our day, and then we look up, the week is almost damn near gone. You're like, what the hell? What the hell just happened? You know what I'm saying? So other than like, you running into that, the stranger and you talking to your friend, like what was like what made you make this commitment though? And to decide to put it on social media and be consistent with this.
I got tired of getting to the end of the day and not knowing how I spent it. I got tired of getting to the end of the week and being like, ooh, I have no room to recover. I don't know what happened. It's a whirlwind. Yeah. And, when you get tired of things, when you truly get tired of something, you find a solution for it. That's what I believe. Right. Until you're until you're exasperated with the current state of things, you are not going to find a solution for them.
Yeah.
So I got tired. I got tired of feeling like I was not being a good steward over the time that I was given. And I decided to start putting it on social media because, because of my job, because of what it is that I do, and because it is who I am, I have to be on there. So if I'm going to be on there, I'm going to make it a part of my productivity cycle. So I need to make sure that I'm being held accountable to myself. But also, I know so many people, women, moms, who feel like the day runs away from them and they wake up exhausted before it even starts because mentally they don't have that guidance. They don't have that anchor for the day or for the rest of that week. And I was like, if one person's life has changed, I know it sounds so cliche, but if one person outside of mine with this mindset, then that's me. And then it like spiraled. Then people are asking me about it. People are tagging me in. They're like, oh, I chose my week and I didn't let my week choose me today, sis, or I chose my day, or da-da-da. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I love that for y'all. But it was honestly selfishly motivated, just because I wanted to make sure that what I was given, I did my best with. And life, one thing's for certain, two things for sure, life is always going to do what it does best, and that's ebb and flow. You can roll with the punches, or you can eat all of them and then wonder why you're staggering. My choice was to roll with the punches. So I decide in my brain that I'm going to choose my week and I'm going to control what it is I can control. And then the rest of that, you just go with it. It keeps you sound. It keeps you centered throughout the week. And that for me was major.
Love it. Cool. And so I grew up in a household, it was me, it was my father, and then the rest of them was women. I got sisters that, they twins. I got my mom, right? And even after that, I always was, surrounded by women. Even when it came to coaching, right? I've coached over 1,000 women. You get what I'm saying? But one thing that I can still say is I'm still trying to understand you guys, right? I support the women, absolutely. So one thing, and this is a selfish question, what does choosing my week, what does that actually mean to you?
So it's three parts.
Okay.
I'm going to explain the process and I'll tell you what it means.
Okay.
They're related. So the first step for me is three parts. The first step is to prioritize 1 to 3 things that have to get done for that week. No matter what, doesn't matter.
What though? Give me an example.
Let's see. Okay. So for this week, one of my 3 things was to ensure, which is small, doesn't matter how small it is, to ensure that laundry got washed, dried, and folded in one sitting. It's small, but it's very major because when laundry piles up, then you start to feel cluttered, then your brain starts to organize, then you're rushing, then everything starts to slowly particulate until it all gets away from you. So your thing this week was to make sure that laundry was washed, dried, and folded, because I knew that it was going to make my week more seamless. It's not just about me. I have 2 little ones who depend on me. I can't wake up in the morning and they'd be like, oh, mommy, we don't have any shirts. What?
Right.
Oh, because you wash it or you left it in the washer, you didn't dry it. It just makes things more too volatile. And then the second part for me is envisioning what that would look like when it's finished. So so I hate doing laundry, right? But that was one of my priorities. So I prioritized for the week. The second thing is envisioning that finish. So how am I going to feel when I check that off? That mental space of having to think about laundry will not be occupied anymore. It'll be free. And not to put in there, just to have a mental peace area in a long week of things that you cannot control, just to be able to have a sense of peace and sanity. That's what I envision. I'm like, okay, I'll be able to loose at the end of the week, not having to do 5, 10 loads of laundry all at one time and wasting my Saturday where I could be resting. And then the third part, which is the hardest part for me, and I think for most people, is to accept the things you cannot change and then to excellently execute the things you can. So it's 2 parts. So you can accept cannot change. We know that one. We say that all the time. But the flip side of that is to excellently execute everything that you do control, because there's no reason why you shouldn't. There's none. There's no excuses. Nothing like that. Oh, well, I thought. Oh, well, I felt. No. Can you control it? If the answer is yes, fix it. That's it. That's simple.
Okay.
So it requires more from me in the beginning, but it means I'm choosing better for myself. And in that, in those small choices, in those small moments, I raise the bar for myself, and then my performance also increases.
Yeah.
That's like dividend from it.
Yeah.
So that's what it means to me. That's really what it is. It's like,
yeah,
if you want to be better, you can't plan to be better and never execute it. You have to be better with the small things so that you can get.
yeah, I like that. And it's like, listen, guys, for you guys that are listening, right? Small steps, right? She's not trying to, be Wonder Woman in a week or Superwoman in a day, right? She's doing these small steps, right? Every single day and every single week, right? So that's 3 things, not 12 things, not 20 things, right? That she has, that she's, staying, making a commitment to for the entire week, but that's going to compound week after week. And we got 52 weeks in a year, right? You're going to accomplish so much and have so much clarity, right? When I'm hearing is clarity, right? Mental clarity so that you can make decisions, at a high level. And one thing that I've noticed when I talk to different people, if it's someone at, a higher level, lower level, whatever the case may be, it all comes down to how they make decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like it most of the time is not any type of skill set or education. It's just, how do this person make decisions? So I love the fact that you have a framework of how you make decisions every single week, right? And things that you can actually control and things you can't control, forget it, right? So I love that. Now, give me an example. It don't have to be like this week or last week, but a time where you actually didn't choose your week and your week chose you, even if it was before during the last 3 months, maybe it was something, before you actually, came up with the mantra. When was there a time where your week chose you and you didn't choose your week?
Yeah. So my kids, this is not, it's it. So kids will say and do the darndest things. If you have kids, you know how this goes.
Absolutely.
And I had signed up to volunteer at school for my kids. And I call myself, Sunday night, just chilling, not planning anything, not doing anything. And the next day I ended up having to figure out how to make like 40 different meals for like 40 different dietary needs. So I'm rushing around to do that. I'm having to cancel clients. I'm having to switch appointments around. I missed actually a speaking engagement that week because everything just began to snowball. So I missed a speaking engagement. I was rushing around at school with the meals. They got done, but I'm nitpicking. I'm getting short with my kids. They're young, they're 7 and 5. So they don't really get that. They're just like, oh, life is just doing the thing. I'm stressed out, missed the speaking engagement that I had to do that I was booked to do because I just couldn't get it together mentally. Didn't have time to plan for that. Didn't have time to make, the proper steps to make sure that my kids were taken care of in order to go to that. Then by the end of the week, I had missed 4 or 5 days of my training schedule, which as you know, that's not good.
That's not good at all.
I couldn't find a way to work out. I had no time. And by that Friday night, I was so exhausted that I had completely forgotten about, this sounds so bad, but forgive me, forgot about my mom's birthday. And this all happened in the span of a week.
Wow.
Now, it sounds melodramatic and it sounds like it was well written, but that's really what happens. You don't intend for things to spiral out of control, but if they are not controlled, they will always spiral. Period. And that stuck out to me so much because it wasn't just me that, was affected by my poor planning or by my poor orchestration of my life. It was my kids. It was those other kids. It was my mom. It was those people who booked me for the speaking engagement. And then my future self, because who would have said what would have happened if I had gone to that speaking engagement? You know what I'm saying? Or if I had not missed that week of training, you never know what it is that you're giving up. Ooh, you never know what it is what you're giving up when you don't plan to have what it is that you should be having, So yeah, that was major. And I sat down that Friday and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. feeling like this. And they didn't deserve that. And I can't go where I need to go if I don't fix this. So
got you. So the question, so the task that you committed to, it sounds like you was looking to help you was volunteering to help people, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. So this is what I want to highlight this, right? Because I hear this a lot. I even have clients or people that's close to me, and they say yes to everybody and everyone because they're looking to help everybody. And actually, sometimes things don't go according to plan, and it ends up, messing up things. Actually, like so. And I'm not sure if this was during the time where you became aware of your mantra and things like that. It doesn't sound like it was, but just simplifying. Like what I like to do in my life is just simplify it. Whereas I don't have to make too many decisions. I only like to make like the high level decisions. The lower level decisions, I'm not making them. You get what I'm saying? And I understand that like, I can't help everybody. Do I have the ability to? Absolutely. And does everybody deserve to get that help? I'm not saying that the little kids didn't deserve it, you know what I'm saying? But these are just like, having that clarity and having those frameworks that you have now, and like the listeners can implement it into their life, right? Can allow you to know when to say yes and know when to say no, and be okay with saying no. You're not a bad person. The word no exists for a reason. And you got to protect your energy and protect your sanity and your physical and mental health, so that you don't burn out by Friday, because you got Saturday and Sunday, and then you got to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday again.
Over again.
So I love that. I appreciate you sharing that and being vulnerable and sharing that. But what did you learn from that that situation?
It's crazy that you said that. I was just doing too much. Like you hit it so hard on the head where you said learning, when you make those high level decisions, then the other ones that you are not making, you won't overly obsess about. Like I should be able to say no to certain things, but because I didn't even have the mental bandwidth to understand what my week would look like with all that going on, I couldn't anticipate the fact that I should not have overly extended myself to many, many things. And that was very important for me because, I do think that we are on earth to help each other, and we each have a distinct call to handle things. But when you are not clear in your purpose, you acquiesce way too much. And then you end, now I'm a martyr to my talents because I shouldn't feel this way. Why do I feel so drained? Even doing what it is that I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm called to do these things, but why do I feel so drained? Because if you don't have peace here to be able to make decisions and be like, hey, you know what? That's not a good decision for me this week. I have emotional capacity to handle that, but I do appreciate your concern. I do appreciate you asking me, but you can say with full confidence because you know that you've planned out the things that you can handle for that week. And if you take on anything else, the things that you're supposed to handle suffer. So
or delegate things. You could delegate things to a friend, to a mentee, to a mentor. Like the thing that you said, the opportunity that you said yes to was probably not even your responsibility.
Yeah.
Like it was probably your responsibility to say no so that person can go to the next person. And now that's an opportunity in a lifetime for the next person, the person that you probably don't even know. Or maybe you do know somebody, this is a good opportunity for such and such. Let me pass this off to him or her. And then I'm still helping people out by not using my talents, but using my, my community, right? Using my network, and then you can still focus on the three things that you are already committed to. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes saying no can help out like the person that's asking for your help, even if you don't even know about like what's going to happen after you give that person a no, because people tell you no, don't they?
Always.
So shoot, like, so, all right, cool. So now I know we've been talking about like choosing your week, choosing, you. So since we on the topic of choosing, like, what is your take on dating in the fitness industry? What's your take on that?
Okay, so you know how you go to a buffet, right? And you're like, okay, all this looks pretty good, but you find out what you want, and you put on your plate, and you take what you have, and you leave the rest. That's my best. That's my best analogy for dating in the
What? So is it the mac and cheese? Is it the dress? No, I'm joking. But go ahead. Go ahead.
I do was safe. No. So I think the strengths of being in the fitness industry are also the weaknesses of being in the fitness industry and dating, because we're all hyper focused on health, but also on our aesthetics. Once you've been for a while, you start nitpicking your body, you start nitpicking people's bodies around you, and then I think we become overly focused on that. So for me, on the receiving end of things, I'll say on the choosing. No, I'll say on the choosing end of things first. So for me, on the choosing end of things, there are certain aspects of people, I read them very well, but there are certain aspects of people that I just, like men, I just won't even entertain, because I can tell that you have a huge warped reality based upon Instagram and
I get you.
Your website, and it's like, that's cool. I love that you have the followers. I love that you seem like you love what you do. You're passionate about fitness. On the surface level, all those things match and mesh up pretty well.
Yeah.
But who are you?
Yeah, facts.
Who are you for real? Like, who are you when you're in the bed by yourself and you're just sitting there? Who are you when you see someone struggling with groceries and, do you feel pricked in your heart to help them, or are you going to walk past them? Who are you when somebody who can do nothing for you needs something from you? Are you going to help them, or like, what's going on? Like, what's going on in here? So I personally had an experience, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about mixing business with pleasure. And I would say, unless you are 100% honest about what you have going on in your own life, you won't make a good choice regardless. And it's weird, you have to be very confident. That's another thing. You have to be you have to be very self-assured if you're going to date in the fitness industry, because work is work. And your personal life is your personal life. And if you don't understand the dynamic between the two, or you're not able to openly communicate that with the person that you're dealing with, then it could be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a huge problem. So
interesting. Dating in the fitness industry. I feel like this could be like a whole nother conversation, whole nother episode, It's interesting. So question about, so this is my take on it, right? The fitness industry is a very vain industry. And males and females, right? But in my opinion, a physique is a good physique, but also like what's up here? Like what you doing with this thing? You know what I'm saying? And I have these conversations like with my clients and stuff like that too. And some people that may not have like the best physique are intimidated by other fitness professionals that do, right? And they may not have even as much skill and knowledge as that person does. You get what I'm saying? So I know you said like, some people may, I've never ran into anybody like that. Also, I'm antisocial as fuck. So like, I don't give a fuck. like if we not talking about like leveling up each other, making some money and impacting like lives, like I don't give a fuck what you look like. You know what I'm saying? So, but like what's your take on that? Like I haven't really dated in the fitness industry, you know what I'm saying? So like I don't even know what that I can assume, like I can picture what it looks like, because I talk to fitness professionals all day long, and on social media, off social media. I know what it really looked like on and off social media, you know what I'm saying? Like for real. But like, I don't know, like what's your take on that?
Yeah, it's not, you want to do it, like theoretically, because you want somebody who understands, it's like, hey, if I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning and work out, for an hour, I want you to be able to understand that I'm coming back, or I'm going to talk to you later. Or if I say, hey, I'm at the gym, or hey, I'm about to go do this, or hey, let's have this for lunch or dinner because it goes with my macros. You want to have somebody who understands that. You think you do. I think it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't, because what you realize is that just because someone's a good gym partner does not mean that they're a good partner in life.
That's a bar. That's hey, Joseph, like grab that joint.
Because
that's a bar right there.
You will think in your head and in your mind that it just makes sense. 2 + 2 = 4. You love squat. I'm a deadlift person. Like, we can make this work.
Yeah.
No. You need so much more. You need so much more, because in an industry that is extremely vain, we can see the difference. We see the difference of the people who post, whatever, sexually charged content that really isn't fact-based, but does numbers.
Yeah.
Whereas other people who, choose to post something that's a little bit more educational, still entertaining, still very much a good, post or whatever, get so much more, or get so much fewer views or interactions, because it's not stimulating that ego.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, what you see is that's it. A lot of this, unfortunately, for men and for women, because I've met women, who, only want someone who looks a certain way. But when you ask them, like, well, what do you want? What does that look like? You're like, what does you caring for this person look like? Or what does it look for this person to care for you? Like, oh, I don't care. He's just he's just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. I get it. Like, I have eyes too, I can see, but your soul wants to be fed too. I feel like if you're dating for real, and there's so much junk, when really you need like a home cooked meal, and there's not a lot of that out there. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. You have to take it with a grain of salt every single time. Like, and you have to be very, very perceptive, and just be able to read people, just sit back a little bit, see how they are with their clients, see how they are with, outside of the gym setting, outside of Instagram, have a conversation, and once you do, you can tell pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The people around you and the ones you don't. So
yeah, I got you. Yeah, makes sense. And I am not a relationship coach, but one thing that I would say is just have a clear understanding of what you want. That kind of goes back to like what you was talking about, like choosing your day, right? Like, exactly choosing your week. Don't shoot me. Choosing your week, right? And you paint it in your mind, so you already know what that looks like for you. You already know what it feels like once you complete these tasks, right, that you have on your list. And it's like, for whatever reason, some people may not do that when it comes to relationships, not just intimate relationships, but friendships, mentorships, right? All of these different ships, right? You should know what that looks like and what you want. You get what I'm saying? So now when you are out, in life, life is life, and what you want to, what to deal with and what not to deal with, because you already know what you want and what you don't want. But if you just say, oh, like, I only want a woman with this type of physique, or a man with this type of physique, or a man that does this, and then you have nothing else to go along with it, sure, you'll get that, but you'll get some bullshit on the back end as well. Every time, so
and then you said that it's really important to know what that feels like. And I think that is the crucial part, because you can envision what it is that you want, right? But what you see is very, very different from what that feels like. And I think once you know what you want and what you want to feel in that situation, you have to be open to maybe it not looking or appearing to you the way that it should, or the way that you think it should. Because when you flip flop it, you're always going to overly estimate or underestimate and not sit where you need to be and not land where you need to be. But if you are imagining what that feels like, seeing what that is like, then you're going to recognize it before it even, it makes manifest itself in the physical. So,
I agree. Yeah, man. Cool. Yeah. So we passed the date. Did you want to, well, like, look, like Miriam, can guys, like, can they get at you? Can they DM you? Like, can they, like, you single, you mingling, like, what you doing?
You are so messy. And I am single. I am single as a Pringle, which is so Pringles live or have a whole thing in it. But no, I'm very, 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 very much single.
Hey.
However, I am single and I am celibate. So I am abstaining from relationships at this point in time because I got stuff to get done and I don't want to be distracted. So y'all can, I'm not saying don't, but just understand that, you might get a kind, like, thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can have a conversation, possibly, probably not. I'm not gonna lie to you. But just not at all.
Fellas, it don't hurt to shoot, fellas. So we gonna get her Instagram at the end. So y'all can shoot, bro. Like, worst thing that happen, you shoot and you miss, fam. Just don't airball. All right, cool. So most underrated activity that is beneficial to a person's mental and physical health.
Walking.
Okay.
Walking every time. Walking because, one, if you do it outside, you get the sunshine and you'll just get a change of pace. Two, that's exothermic, energy that you're able to emit, and it's low impact.
Yeah.
It improves your heart health, and anyone can do it. Well, let me not say that, but it's the first step, pun intended. It literally is the first step, because if you can tell someone, hey, I just need you to walk 10 minutes 3 times a week.
Yep.
And that's their starting point, and they start to do that with their confidence, and then they get to enjoy something, and then it doesn't have to be complicated. The reason why people hate fitness is because we overcomplicate it. People hate wellness, people hate fitness, because every time you start hitting with numbers, facts, figures, macros, all sorts of stuff, when in reality, it really boils down to you moving your body in the way that it's supposed to be moved, and you fueling it the way that it's supposed to be fueled. That's it. That is all. Like, for the baseline is walking always. And then I'll add a second one is sleeping. Sleep, because none of us, I won't say none of us, most of us do not sleep enough. Or if we do sleep, we don't have quality sleep. And your body cannot perform at a peak level without sleep. I don't care. I'm willing to die on that hill. Show me somebody who is at the top of their career, who is an athlete or whatever, and let them start minimizing their sleep or minimizing the quality of the sleep. Guaranteed, no matter who it is, I don't care if it's the greatest of the greats, their performance is going to suffer, because that's need to get better, period. So walking, that's simple.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, even to this day, like, I'll walk myself. Like, I live in a nice neighborhood. I'll go outside, and I'll just walk. Man, a lot of times during the pandemic, like, me and my son, like, we will go outside and just walk. We'll walk and we'll stop, like, in the parking lot, and he'll ride his bike and play around and stuff like that. And another thing too, I heard you say, so when we were running the Queen's Project and we were helping, like, like, busy moms, a lot of them had to lose like 20 or more pounds. In the first, like, couple of weeks, literally the only thing we had them doing was walking, eating right, drinking water, and getting proper sleep. No crazy exercises, none of that. But we would give them like a certain step goal and things like that. So, like, hitting step goals was like a big thing in our community. And like, they started doing like 20,000 steps a day and things like that by just walking.
Yeah.
And they drop in, like, the 1 to 2 pounds a week consistently. And a lot of them still come to us to this day, like, yo, Coach Harry, I'm still doing it. I'm still at it, because what you want to think about is, like, what can somebody, even after I'm done giving them, and one, like, they don't understand calorie deficit. They don't understand that language. You got to,
they don't care.
Simplify it. You got to, really simplify it for them so that they can understand it. Not just so that you sound good, right? But that you can articulate it to the person that you talk to. Now, if you're talking to athletes, I feel like I'm going off, getting into my Coach Harry mode. Let's circle back around. But walking and sleeping, definitely beneficial to your physical and your mental health. Now, this is one thing that I want to talk about. How do you feel about the term, the gym is my therapy? How do you feel about that term? Be honest. I want to have an honest conversation about this.
Would you put chapstick on a tumor?
Okay. Absolutely
No,
not.
right? Doesn't mean chapstick isn't useful, but tumor is a tumor. It needs to be treated as a tumor.
Yeah.
And I take this very seriously because I've had people say that to me. And I don't mean to get like super dark, but I've had someone say that to me, and this person is no longer here. And she definitely needed more than the gym. She needed, therapy. She needed support. She needed someone to, really look at her and be like, I know you're not okay. And I know that you're training 6 days a week and you look like you were chiseled from stone. And you look amazing and you look happy and you're, beautiful and all the things that people think that you ought to have in order to be okay, but you're not okay.
Yeah.
And so that bothers me. And I don't think that is a fair shake. It doesn't give people a fair shake because there are times where I'm personally, in the gym breaking down crying because I know really I need to go home and, journal or do some self-work, some self-evaluation to process. I think it works as a supplement to in mental health program, recovery, anything that helps. But I don't think it's a substitution. It's a supplement, but it's a supplement too, but it's not a substitution for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just mine. And I love the gym. I mean, this. We love the gym, but I would never in my life ever suggest it replacing adequate care.
Yeah, I agree. 1,000%. And I think we need to make this like a normal thing in the fitness industry. It's really big in bodybuilding too, right? Where, like I would say maybe for about like 3.5 years, I was like really like crazy into bodybuilding. And different shows I would go to in different gyms. Like I travel around the country to go to different gyms and things like that. And like that's the conversation, or like one time it was this gym not too far from my house, and they was going to close the gym. It was around the pandemic, and people were like literally like crying, saying, "I need this place." Like I need this place. This place is my therapy and things like that. And I'm like, yo, like this is like a real big problem, right? And I know you're really big, on mental health, so that's why I wanted to, have this conversation with you, because yes, like the gym is working out. You should definitely work out. And is it good, just from a scientific standpoint, like, does it help, with your mental? Like, absolutely. But like you said, like chapstick work, but you definitely shouldn't put chapstick, on a tumor. You get what I'm saying? Like, sure, like you should take your vitamins, but you shouldn't take your vitamins and you eating, Big Macs all day long. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. So like, I think it's very, very important that we as fitness professionals, like, one, let's hold ourselves accountable. One, and then, make sure that we spreading the right gospel out here, and we're not just telling people. And I saw you say something about, I think it might've been on your story. I'm not sure, but you said something about like mental toughness. I forgot how you articulated it, but you were like mental toughness. I forgot how you articulated, but it was like right on point. And I think some people think that just because you go in the gym and you push through something, mentally to get a physical result, that does not make you mentally tough. Or just because you are able to, get to your fitness goals and push through every single day and do your faster cardio and work out and eat healthy, that is not the only thing that makes you mentally tough. But are you taking those same principles and applying it in every area of your life, not just one?
100%.
Not just
You have no. People equate, mental stuff. I think I said I be off the dome with these things. I think it wasn't alive, but I think I said that people associate mental fortitude with mental toughness, and those are not the same. As toughness will have you feeling like you can't be human and that you can't say, hey, I'm not okay. It's a beautiful thing when you're able to push yourself physically and accomplish the things that you didn't think you could ever accomplish in the gym. But it takes more strength for you to sit with something that is painful or that you feel powerless to, and really sit with yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, why do I feel like this? Why did I respond this way? why is this bothering me? Instead of being like, oh, well, F it, I'm just going to go to the gym and
yeah, exactly.
It's twofold. That's a beautiful thing. And sometimes you got to throw some weight around. But
Yeah.
after the settles and after that adrenaline starts pumping and after those endorphins are gone,
Yeah.
you'll still have the problem. It gave you fix, to process through the original, the primary emotions, but the secondary and the tertiary ones, you have to sit and you have to unpack. And as like I said, as fitness professionals, as coaches, as wellness, entrepreneurs, it's our duty and our responsibility to hold ourselves to that standard, but also to be able to say to our clients, like, hey, it's not all roses, and you don't have to just self and push yourself. Figure out why you're feeling the way you're feeling, because if your neck up, your neck up is not working the way that it should, it doesn't matter what you do from the neck down.
Facts.
There will be a disconnect.
Facts.
And neck down suffers every time neck up is not in a good place. But, that's just.
I love that. And just real quick, how you were saying, like when you sit down and you start to feel like that frustration or maybe even anger. And then you like, I'm about to go to the gym and get my therapy. You're just releasing anger. It's the same thing as if you were to yell at your son or yell at your kid right there. I don't yell at my son. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like, and I teach one thing that I teach my son. I'm like, being tough and being strong is not expressing anger to someone. It's not hitting somebody or yelling at somebody. You are mentally tough when you can control your emotions. And you can control you can control like what's going on in your mind. You get what I'm saying? Because we all have negative thoughts. I have them. Yeah. Right. But just like to go back to what this whole episode is about, like her mantra, choosing my week and not letting my week choose me. You get what I'm saying? And that's something that you can do right now. If you have a negative thought, because we can't have negative and positive thoughts at the same time. You either got one or the other. Right. So, and we know that these negative thoughts are going to come. You just have to have a framework that you can immediately go to something positive and do something. Now, it's not saying that you can't go to the gym, but don't go to the gym with anger. You know what I'm saying? You got to change. You got to change that before you walk out of those doors and you get in your car. Because what if you get in your car and you driving and you angry and you get into a car accident?
And that's real. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So, and you talking to somebody like when I was young, I was a little angry child. You get one? Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. Not just as a child, but before little one came here, I was I had punching walls, yelling, cursing people. Like, yeah, that was me. You may not see it no more because I know how to control myself. And I don't really believe that we can of course you can change like the thoughts in your mind and focus more on your positive than your negative. But like, I feel like you could change your heart for sure. You could change your heart, but I don't feel like we can really change who we are as people. We can, that's a whole nother conversation, but you can change your heart, but do I still have these thoughts? Yes. But I have frameworks that I can go to immediately where I can control those thoughts.
That's the one.
Cool. So now, and maybe this might have been what it was, but what is your biggest pet peeve in the fitness industry?
The blatant misinformation, honestly, just irritates. Like and this is not self-aggrandizing, but I do pride myself on being an educated individual, and not just in the fitness industry altogether. My mom used to call me her why child. I wanted to know why everything worked the way that it did, why we had social contact.
I could see that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've always wanted to ask why, and I think we miss out on that. And I cannot stand when people profit over blatant misinformation. It's one thing for you to be 100% ignorant of something and you later on come back and you make the change. You say, hey, at one point I did say this, but I became more educated or more experienced. And I'm making amendment to what it is that I've said. Fine. We're not perfect. I've said things that didn't make sense and I had to come back and correct them. My issue is that when people in our industry know for a fact that this is not something that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the masses don't know that because they don't have, I'm not gonna say that they don't have that level of expertise or that level of understanding, or maybe they don't want to have it because they're just trusting you because you said you were an experienced member of this community. So they feel like they trust you, and then you profit from it, and that bothers me because I feel like you're just lying for money, and that never works out. So that is very, very, very irksome to me. I've unfollowed people for that, when I've clearly been able to see over time. And usually I ask them a question, I'm like, hey, like when you said this, if we've worked together, if I've seen them, or if I'm going to see them in a working capacity, I'll be like, hey, when you said this, what did you mean by that? Or, and if we can have a conversation, most of the time we can have a conversation within 3 to 4 questions. They can see that what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
What they do after that, and it's not my job to go around and being, superhero trainer, superhero coach, like, oh, you're wrong. I'm not that didactic.
Right.
But my is that if you know that this is something that you're lying and perpetuating,
wow,
and money off of it, hundreds of thousands of dollars, no tea, no shade, because I definitely can name one or two things about certain things, not like people.
Yeah.
But that's a problem. These people trust us, and unfortunately, I wish that more people could be skeptical, or at least take that extra step to educate themselves, because Google is free. So there's a lot of other things, but as an expert in an industry, it's your responsibility, I feel like, to be a person of integrity and not profit off of blatant misinformation, blatant and tactical information, because it gets people to click on things and you're like, oh yeah, So
I got you. Okay. You want to know a pet peeve of mine? Do you want to know it?
Yes, I do. I was about to ask you.
So a pet peeve of mine in the fitness industry on social media is professionals like yourself that have a strong opinion about what you just shared with me. Don't jump on social media and share it with the people. Strong opinion, right? Strong opinion. Jump on social media, like use your voice and give the right information to people consistently. So if it's something that pisses you off, let's hear about it.
Oh, okay.
So that's just a pet peeve of mine. I'm just sharing my pet peeve, because I could probably tell you every single day, every day, if it's not you, if it's not, I ain't gonna say no other names, but like I have these conversations, right? And it's like, yo, cool. Open your app, jump on social media, and share how you feel.
I think we're scared, Harry.
Exactly. So what?
Oh, true. People cancel you over nothing these days. You know what I'm saying?
So what? But if you feel in your heart, because look, check this out. If you don't have people that agree and disagree with what you're talking about, that's skeptical. Is that not skeptical?
It is. Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So like, I would encourage you. I mean, I tell you stuff like this like frequently, right? Because you know how I am. But because this is how we create more leaders in the fitness industry. Because we can't blame our communities. Who they gonna learn it from?
If not me, then who? Oh
no, seriously, like give me so let's talk about, let's be selfish real quick. Let's talk about our Black and brown men and women in our communities that are not fitness professionals, that this is not their expertise. Who are they going to learn this information from?
Has to be us. Yeah, they can't.
Only one. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if there's, false information out there that you don't agree with and they're consuming it, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my on it. And it's scary for sure, but hey, like, so you might get some people to be like, they're gonna cancel you, but I'll guarantee you'll get more people that respect you a lot more.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be behind you and support you like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my pet peeve.
It's crazy. I have learned that actually a lot more, especially on like TikTok. I've been doing that a lot more on my TikTok than Instagram, because Instagram be a little shaky. but people want to hear your opinion, especially if it's diversive, simply because I think we are all tired of hearing regurgitated information.
Yeah.
That when we hear a soundbite that might be incendiary or controversial,
Yeah.
we're more intrigued by it because it causes us to think in a way that we have not been thinking over time, because everyone wants to ride the wave and, be politically correct, I guess you could say, instead of giving information that needs to be had, especially among our own community. So
yeah,
that's true.
And nobody's expecting us to be perfect either. You get what I'm saying? Like it's literally impossible for you to show up all the time and be, politically correct every single time. You get what I'm saying? So I would just, encourage those, if if it's fitness professionals, which of course, if y'all listening, like put your voice out there, give your opinion. And anytime, you give an opinion, just give some value, some action steps behind it, so that's valuable to the person that's listening. And then the person that, if anybody who would get in their feelings, it wouldn't be your audience, it would be other fitness professionals.
And then
or fitness influencers. You get what I'm saying? But it's not going to be the person that actually needs to help. They're going to be like, thank you for this. So it's like, who are you showing up for? Are you showing up for the people that actually need your help? Or are you showing up for these fitness professionals or these influencers?
That is a thought-provoking question for sure.
Yeah. And sometimes it just post it and then turn the app off and now go do something else productive in your day or in your business. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you posting it and then now you having anxiety waiting to see if somebody gonna say something negative about it, waiting to see if it's gonna get all these views. Just put the message out there and then let it be out there. And now you go and focus on something else, that's gonna move the needle in your life or in your business.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's that simple. Golly.
Yeah. It really is that simple, and eventually it gets, it become a habit where you care, but you don't care. You care about the right things. You know what I'm saying? Because but answer me, like, would it be like, is it the audience that you're speaking to, the people that actually could benefit from your information? Or would it be like, like other fitness professionals or other influencers?
For me specifically?
Yeah.
My concern comes in more from wanting to be respected by my colleagues, which is weird to admit because I don't feel like I'm that type of person per se, but I also think that, you want to be respected in your industry, especially as a woman who's in this industry, because I know that I have a wealth of knowledge, but I also know that sometimes I have to deliver knowledge in a way that's more palatable because I am a woman, and that's frustrating. I think when I do choose to deliver information, I do nitpick it and I do try to make it almost perfect. Like I need the most updated statistics. I need, any type of research. I feel like I have to prove what it is that I already know. Man, that's tough. I feel this is the first time I've said this aloud. I feel like I have to prove what it is that I already know because of what I am, not necessarily who I am. And I think that's really what it is, because whenever you're right, I have made certain statements. And each time that I've made these statements or spoken this truth, debunk things, my audience, the people who look at me every day for information or will ask me questions in my DMs and I answer them freely, will always say, okay, thank you. I didn't think about it like that. Or, wow, I've been doing like this for a long amount of time. And it's only for fitness influencers or just people who are trying to be trolls, who are like, oh, well, blah, 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 this and that. That's wrong because this is that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, just like you said, I'm not serving them. I appreciate, your respect, but my knowledge needs to be respected regardless of if you chose to do so or not. And that was just like mind opening or mind blowing for me just now.
But listen though, just because you can be respected, but you don't need their validation. You need to just respect yourself. You get what I'm saying? And let me ask you this, your colleagues, are these males or females?
Most of them are male.
So this is so look, guys, fellas, it's our job to protect our queens. We have to be better leaders in this industry, yo. We got to be better leaders in this industry. I've coached both. women dope as fuck. So, and women tell me all the time, oh, this is a male dominated industry. I'm like, where? How? I'm seeing all the women make the money. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyway, but still, it still is our job as men, you know, to create a safe space for these women, because now we got our women, you know, maybe, you know, they probably got hundreds of drafts, and they, you know, in reels and in photos that they haven't posted because they thinking about you, because you haven't created a safe space, and you're not being the leader that you need to be to make our queens feel comfortable with showing up so that they can help other queens.
Woo.
So what I would recommend, if anybody can, you know, relate to this, is before use like Miriam's mantra, before you create the content, before you post it, shift your focus on, like you said, the ladies that posted, that responded when you debunked, you know, that whatever myth that was, and they was like, thank you for that. Focus on them. Don't focus on the ones that you think might have something negative to say about it, and say, hey, maybe this might save somebody's life today. Maybe this might make one person decide to choose their health, their wellness, right, over something else today. So is that worth you posting that?
Absolutely. Every time.
Every time.
It's that simple.
It is. And I can, and honestly, man, like I could 100% relate to this. Like when I first was kicking off the FEA, you know, like 2.5 years ago, or whenever it was, like around like the pandemic, right? When all types of trainers was coming to me trying to get help, like trainers that I knew and stuff like that, right? When it came to putting out content, like I was like, dang, what are other, like, you know, business coaches may say, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it got to a point where it was like, bro, people are already coming to you for help, bro. They need this information.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they say they want it from me. Cool. I'm gonna focus on serving them, and I'm gonna post the shit anyway. And eventually I'm not gonna give a fuck. And guess what? I don't give a fuck. But also I got hella receipts to prove to it. You get what I'm saying? But you know, there's always people out there that want the information from you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They want it from you. So
I appreciate that, because I'd be like, I don't know. And I've been doing it, so I'll post it and I will put it down. I'm like, I'm gonna go do other things that require my actual time, and I'll come back to it. And the moment I started doing that more, it became so much less stressful for me. Like content, I do not have to overthink content when we have real life things to deal with. No, I'll post it. If it's not perfect, it just is what it is. And you know, effort was there, my intentions were there, and the people that it's supposed to reach, it'll reach. And if not, hey, I'm gonna just keep doing what I need to do, because that's not the magnification of the message is not my focus. The message, that's it.
Exactly. That's it. The message, that's it. And the more you post, the more data you collect, the better you get at it. You know, but if you just got a bunch of drafts sitting in your, that's data that you could be collecting, along with lives that you could be impacting, both. You know what I'm saying? So like and when I see you post content, I always definitely try and, like, you know, encourage you. You know, do. I don't never give like unsolicited advice. I think that shit is whack as fuck to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm always going to encourage, you know, my sisters, my brothers, especially when they giving out good value and they showing their face and they using their voice. My heart like skips a beat every time I see that. You know, it really, really does. Like, I love it. So, so I'm gonna continue to encourage you, Miriam. You know what I'm saying? You know, we
came a long way here. We done came a long way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? And you know, super glad to, you know, bump heads with you, man. Like, and you know, it's funny because I'm like, yeah, I did meet her on Club. I met a lot of people on Club. Like, Clubhouse was at a time, it was the thing. It was smacking at a time, you know.
That was crazy.
You said what?
Yeah, that was crazy. I think I just happened upon one of your videos and like, or the, whatever it's called. I don't even remember what it was, meetings, whatever. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Someone else, no, you know what? Someone else sent it to me. And she was, oh my God, you have to listen to this. Da, 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 da. At the time though, she was trying to slide in your DMs, but,
Okay.
so you got to listen to this. Da, da, da. I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, it's so good. So I listened. I was like, with a grain of salt, because I was like, okay, like you're obviously obsessed, so I don't really trust your opinion. But I sat, dang, like this is really, really good information. And then from there, it just kind of, that's it.
Yeah.
So,
and here we are.
Life changed, altered,
yeah.
really, real.
Well, you got any, closing arguments or anything you want to leave the people with?
Closing arguments? No. Okay. But I do want to say this. If you are looking for the person who looks like you or who came from your background or who has the problems that you have to show up and inspire you and you don't see them, that means that it's supposed to be you. That means it's got to be you. Okay. A lot of times we want someone to knock on the door and open it for us before we walk through. Nah, sometimes you have to be that person to battle ram that door down and come hell or high water on the other side, you got through it. And I just think that that's so important, because if you're in a space, whether it's in the fitness industry or, you're volunteering in your community, or you want to see a different initiative or whatever, and you don't see anybody in that space or nobody's done it before, it's got to be you. If you have the vision, if you've seen it, if you felt it, if you go to sleep at night and it's on your mind, even in the slightest of ways, it has to be you. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a scary thing, but it's a beautiful thing once you realize that, because you're going to be boundless after that. So just, I think we give so much of our power away, and we give so much of our creativity away to things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. When your impact at the end of the day, when you're not here anymore, will be the legacy that you leave.
Yeah.
And if you have unexpended, potential at the end of it, that's not fun for anybody. And the person that was supposed to walk through the door that you battle ram through is going to have to try to do it. And that's going to be even harder. So, that's really important. And also, if you haven't registered to vote, please register to vote. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Today was the last day to register to vote. Register to vote. I just thought about that.
Y'all hear her, man. Y'all hear her. All right. The wellness mommy herself, So let the audience know like where they can find you, your Instagram, like any social media platforms that you have.
Yes. So on Instagram, my Instagram is MS_body BODY_4 FOR_miles, like you run them, MILES. And then on TikTok, it's the same thing, except for there's no underscore between the 4 miles part. And on Facebook, I have a coaching page. That's my Coach Miriam page. It is just under Coach Miriam, and then you'll see Sunshine Fitness, CEO Sunshine Fitness. You'll see it from there. I share recipes there. I have a group. Mindset meeting, like weekly, depending on what it is that I'm feeling, what it is that, people reach out to me and ask me. I'm extremely responsive on there, actually more so responsive if you have any type of questions. I give free game on there all the time, and free game, whether it's training tips, nutritional tips, life tips. So that's an interesting space for me. And what else? I think that is it for right now. I have a YouTube channel coming. So
okay. When we gonna drop the book? Choosing my week and not letting my week choose me. That's a book.
You are the third person to ask me that today, Harry. Day. And I am like, okay, let me put together some things. I have a working manuscript, which is crazy, but yeah, I definitely need to do that, and I need to do some other stuff, but I'm more on the speaking side of things now. So if you do, this is random, but if y'all do want me, I do talk to young women about knowing who you are and learning who you are along the way, and accepting who that person is, and just making assertive decisions and learning who you are as a person and how that works for your life.
Love that.
I coach young girls. I'm also a tutor. So, I speak to moms, I speak to women. I am actually going to speak to a group of women who were surviving domestic abuse and domestic violence and things like that, and just be there, to help them understand that there's another side of things that doesn't have to be that way. So, if you know anybody who wants that to book me for a speaking engagement, just shoot me a DM, shoot me an email. My email is Hunter, HUNTER_ my Miriam, my first name, MIRIAM 13@outlook.com. So that's my side of things this time. So
nice. Hey, listen, she got some big things going, big things that she doing already. Super proud of you. I think that's dope. Yeah, I love that. And I'm not following you on TikTok. I don't be on there, but yeah.
Here you gotta come. You have too many good,
we post on there. We posted on there, Oh. Yeah. We definitely. So if anything's on Instagram, we posted on TikTok, we posted on, YouTube Shorts, we definitely on there. Now, do we spend more time on content on TikTok than we do Instagram? We don't. But it's definitely there, so super glad to have you. This was a good conversation. Okay. You guys go follow Miriam. All right. If you're looking to, work with her, shoot her an email. It's not free. She definitely charging. So I'm just letting you know. I'm not sure. Just shoot her an email.
Sure. Full confidence that he's 100% correct. But just talk to me.
There we go. And thank you for taking the time out to join the Empower Your Fitness Empire podcast, Ms. Miriam. And you guys, if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with another fitness professional that needs to see this. And I will see you guys on the next episode.